And they brought Daniel. And he said, why can't your popes and doctors interpret for you? They had nothing to interpret with. So then what taking place? Daniel said, oh, Belteshazzar, you know all these things. They're not hid from you. And I say to America, I wish I could make them at this minute hear my voice. You're not ignorant to all these things. As the nations before has sinned and done what we have done, we are weighed in the balance and found wanting. What happened to France? What happened to Germany? What happened to the other nations who went wine, women, and big time? It always comes out that way, and we're not immune from judgment. God is just. And He said, your father, how God made him a great nation, but he forgot it. And he'd done the same things that you're doing, and God turned him into a wild beast. Said, you're aware of these things, and then you take His holy vessels and make fun of them. Notice, He said, the writing has been set on the wall, and this time your kingdom is numbered. In other words, looky here, fella, your days are numbered. Your kingdom is taken from you and give over to another nation. A brutal, godless nation. One that's as bad as they are. God makes sin fight sin. I wonder today, right at that same time, may I say first, when he was standing there watching that writing on the wall, little did he know that right under the gates, right then, the guards had been killed. And the soldiers were in the streets slaying the palace guards. They were on the steps. And those women standing there, away from their babies, away from their husbands, and husbands from their wives, all drunked up, listen to some kind of a modern dance and carry on. And the soldiers was on the steps, and in a few minutes the king would be cut down. All that drunken bunch of men would be cut down by an idiotic, devil-possessed nation. And the women would have their clothes stripped off of them, young girls and all, and ravished in the street, then picked up by the heels and burst their heads around the walls, chopped them open after they had lived with them in lust. Mad, drunken soldiers. It was at the door, for they were weighed in the balance and found wanting. And that's why we have so much Tommy rot today on the radio and television of man like a man who's got talents, singers like Ernie Ford and Elvis Presley, those boys who's selling out their birthrights for a mess of pottage. To get out there and all you have to be is a jokester or turn some crack or something like that to make the American public laugh. When you know you're only trying to quieten them, and you know behind it all, we know that judgment is at hand.
Yeah.
Right. Might as well face it. We're at the end of the road, brethren. And all the Ernie Ford jokes and the Elvis Presley rock and rolls and all this stuff is another Nebuchadnezzar's feast.
Amen.
It won't do a bit of good. Judgment is going to strike. This nation has come to the same place like Sodom and Gomorrah. In the just God would let this country get by with what it's doing now as a just God, He'd be morally obligated to raise up Sodom and Gomorrah and apologize for burning them up.
Amen.
Right. If we get by without the judgment. But just remember, it's coming to us. You flee to the rock as quick as you can. Don't put it off. Don't notice what all these just joining church and creed and so forth do, like these Methodist brethren here. Flee to the rock until something echoes back that you see Christ reflecting.